Can you see now, students?
Um,
Okay. So good morning, students. So today we will be discussing about the on the topic of nervous system. So nervous system, from the name itself, nervous means nerves are there. It's not it. Nerves are there so that you can detect, or else you can know the changes which is occurring within the environment or else outside the environment. So nervous system means what? Nervous system means which you can detect, I mean which you can find out which is occurring inside your body as well as outside your body. And the nervous system, you can see that they coordinate with each other. I mean they coordinate with each other, and afterwards what do? They send signal to the different areas of the body with the help of what? With the help of the brain. And you will find parts of nervous system. So in the parts of nervous system, what will you find? You will find two parts. That is the central nervous system, which is known as the CNS, and the peripheral nervous system, which is known as PNS. So in the central nervous system, what will you get? You will get that the brain and the spinal cord. You will get the brain and the spinal cord in the central nervous system. This one, the brain and the spinal cord. And in the peripheral nervous system, what will you get? You will get all the nerves which are outside the brain. This is the nerves are outside the brain, isn't it? So you will get, I mean, the nerves which are outside the brain and your spinal cord in the peripheral nervous system. Central nervous system, peripheral nervous system. I repeat again. So in the central nervous system, what will you get? You will get brain and the spinal cord. And in the peripheral nervous system, what will you get? You will get all the nerves. You will get all the nerves which are outside the brain and in the spinal cord and the spinal cord. Is it clear? Parts of nervous system. So the nervous system has two main subdivisions. So the first one is what? Somatic or voluntary component. So somatic or voluntary component, what does it mean? Somatic or voluntary means which you can control. Understand? Voluntary means which you can control. And the next is what? Automatic or involuntary component, which means automatic or involuntary component. What does it mean? It means which you can't control. Understand? Involuntary means which you can't control. Please don't get confused. Some students, I think, they are still confused with the meaning of voluntary and involuntary. Involuntary. Voluntary means which you can control. Involuntary means which you can't control. Say, for example, I have given some examples of the voluntary actions. That is eating a cake, riding a bicycle, walking, playing the piano, coming to school. All these things you can control it. So all this comes under the voluntary actions. And the next is what? Involuntary actions or automatic component. So what will you get? Your heartbeat. You can't control your heartbeat, cardiovascular system, breathing. You can't control your breath, blinking. All this means all these things, it happens automatically under your without your knowledge. All this salivating, choking, all these things happens without your knowledge. So it's not under your control. So all this comes under involuntary component or automatic component. Is it clear about the subdivision?
yes.
Next is neurons. So in the nervous system, you will see billions of neurons. So among all those neurons, we will discuss about one neuron, which is this. So neurons, they are also known as what? They are also known as the nerve cells. And the neurons, what is their function? They used to receive signal from the brain, which is coming from the brain. And the neurons, they have what? They have cell body. This is a cell body. They have cell body, and you will find here one axon. This is one axon, and in the neurons you will find many dendrites. All these, they are like the branches. So the dendrites are like branches. Okay, is it clear? What do they do? This neuron, they send signal to the brain, and they also receive signal from the brain as well. They send, and as well as they receive also information or else signal from the brain. These neurons. Is it clear? Okay, next is axon. Sorry. So this is axon. So this axon, you have got only one axon, and this axon, they are like a tail. Understand? They are like a tail. And what will you find here in axon? You can find that they have got myelin sheet. So this is the myelin sheet, and they are made up of what? Fatty substance. This myelin sheet, they are made up of fatty substance. And this myelin sheet, what is the function of the myelin sheet, or else the myelin? They helps the axon to perform or else to make some electric signal. Understand? To make or else to produce or else to conduct an electrical signal. This myelin, they helps in that. And this neuron, they have only one main axon, which is this. So it's about. So axon is about that. I'll repeat again. The axon is long, and they are like a tail. Okay, tail. They are like a tail, and the axon is covered with what? A fatty substance. They are covered with a fatty substance, which is known as what? Which is known as myelin sheet. So this is the myelin sheet. So the myelin, they helps in what? They helps the axon to make or else to produce or else to conduct what? Conduct an electrical signal, which will go on to the another neurons. Like they conduct electrical signal, and these neurons, they have only one main axon, which is this. Okay, is it clear about axon? Is it clear about axon?
Ma'am,
Huh.
this myelin sheath is the outer covering of Sichuan cells.
Yes, yes. The myelin sheet means sheet. Sheet means what? Cover. Okay. Yes. Sky1 cells means what? All this it's inside it. Understand, Srijana? It's outside.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. Is it clear, everyone? About axon? Next is dendrites. So dendrites are like fibrous roots. Fibrous means what? Fibrous means they are thin and they are long. It means that fibrous roots, and they are just like the branches which comes out from the cell body. So this is a cell body, and they are just like the branches which comes out from the cell body, and they are also just like antenna. Antenna means what? Antenna means who receives signal, okay. And this and actually also like the dendrites, like they receive signal from another neuron. So it means that, and the neurons have many dendrites. In the picture itself you can just see also, like the dendrites, they have the neurons, they have many dendrites compared to axon. The dendrites are like this one, branches which comes out from the cell body, and the dendrites, their function is like antenna. Antenna means what? Who receive signals from another thing or another process. It means that. And the neurons, they have many dendrites. All this. Is it clear, everyone, about dendrites? Is it clear about them, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, next is function of neurons. So how the neurons function? So I have said that you have got billions of neurons. So each neuron, they will be attached to another neuron. So one neuron, this neuron, and again another neuron, again like that. It will go on and on. Understand? So I'm just showing you two neurons. So what do they do? What is the function of the neuron? They send signal to another neuron with the help of what? With the help of action potential. When one neuron sends signal to another neuron, it is known as action potential. This neuron they send signal, and this neuron they receive the signal. Understand? They receive. This neuron they send signal, and this neuron they will receive the signal which the previous neuron have sent it. So this neuron is known as presynaptic cell. Presynaptic cell. Pre means what? Before. Post means what? After. Understand? Pre means before and post means after. So this neuron they will send signal to this neuron who will receive it. So when they will send signal, it is known as what? Action potential. If you understand, it is known as action potential. And in this neuron, you will see axon terminals. Axon terminals. So this is the axon. You remember it, right? So one axon, they are like a tail, I have said. So this axon, they have got axon terminals. Terminals means what? Ending portion, you can say, or else the last one, you can say, terminals. So the axon terminals, they will get attached with the dendrites of the other neuron. They will get attached. When they will attach, or else when they will meet each other, they will produce some electrical impulse which is known as synapse. synapse, synapse. Okay, and here what usually occurs? Here flow of ions occurs. Ions used to flow here out of this out of this neuron, and you will see that when this action potential are being produced, you will see some chemical and as well as electrical synapse during this action potential. Okay, is it clear about this?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, okay, so now let us see about the two synapse, that is chemical and electrical. So what usually occurs here in the chemical synapse? In the chemical synapse, we can find action potential, and one neuron and the other neuron. In the one neuron and the other neuron, there will be gap. Okay, means much gap compared to electrical, which is known as synapse. One neuron and the other neuron, there will be much gap in between, means during this action potential, which is known as chemical synapse. Are you clear about this chemical synapse? Next is electrical synapse, and this is the electrical synapse, this blue color. So electrical synapse, what do? They can only excite. They can only excite each other, and you can find electrical synapse in how? When there is less gap in between the two neurons, okay, means in one neuron and the other neuron, when there are less space or else less gap, you will find the electrical synapse here. And here, same thing, ions are being produced here, and but only positive electrical signals should get transmitted from one neuron to the other neuron. And the gap is also less compared to chemical synapse. And you will find that here you will find ions are also being transmitted from each other, and here you will find only positive electrical signal are being produced here. Okay, is it clear about chemical and electrical?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, but in electrical.
Electrical. Okay, electrical. In electrical synapse, you can find that they can only excite to each other. Okay, and you will find that in these two neurons, it is one neuron and the other neuron, you will find that there are less space or else less gap in between these two neurons, which is known as synapse. And you will find that ions are being transmitted to each other. Ions, ions are being transmitted to each other, and only positive electrical signal used to be transmitted here. Only positive. Understand? Only positive ones used to get transmitted here. Is it clear now, Sakani?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, next is types of neurons. In the types of neurons, you will see sensory, motor, and interneurons. So let us now see one by one. So sensory neurons from the name itself, you can just know, right? Sensory. Sensory means through which you can sense. You can sense in the form of what taste. You can sense in the form of smell. You can sense in the form of hear. I mean, you can hear it with your ear. It's not it. Next is what you can see with the help of your eyes. You can feel things. Okay, you can feel things around you. So these are the sensory neurons. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, next is motor neurons. So motor neurons, what do you mean by motor neurons? Means movement. Okay, the movement which you perform every day in everyday activities, in everyday life which you are doing. So motor neurons, it includes what? It includes voluntary and involuntary movements. Voluntary movements means what? Just now I have said. Voluntary means Ivan. Voluntary means Ivan. Jam Nunu. Voluntary means Hasina. Voluntary means.
Which we can control.
Are you sure? Voluntary means which you can't control.
Yes, ma'am.
Sure. Jyotishmita, is it correct?
Which can control, ma'am.
Oh, which you can't control. Jyotishmita, is it correct? Kajal, is it correct? Kajal, is it correct? Voluntary means which you can't control. Marbut, is it correct?
Yes, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
What it is then? Voluntary
Ma'am,
means what? Uh-huh.
which we can control.
Which you can control. Understand, हसीना? मतलब जो तुम कंट्रोल कर सकते हो उसको बोलते हैं वॉलंटरी. ठीक है?
Yes.
Okay, please don't get confused. Voluntary means which you can control. Okay, so
Which?
motor neurons, but you will get role of movement. Okay, means the movement which you perform every day. So what will you get? You will get voluntary and involuntary movements. That is both which you can control and which you can't control. And in this motor neurons, what will you find? You will find that these neurons, that is the motor neurons, they will allow the brain and the spinal cord to communicate with each other. Okay, with each other, like in what form? With the muscles, with your muscles, with your organs and all over your body. Okay, is it clear? In the motor neurons, you will find voluntary and involuntary movements, that is, which you can control and which you can't control. And these neurons, what do? They will allow your brain. Okay, they will allow your brain and the spinal cord to communicate with whom? To communicate with muscles, to communicate with your organs, to communicate with your glands, all over your body, so that they can function normally, so that they can function properly in a systematic manner. Is it clear about motor neurons? And in these motor neurons, you will find lower and upper. Upper is this and lower is this. So in the lower motor neurons, what will you find? The spinal cord. The spinal cord, they will go and give signal to your smooth muscles. We have studied about muscles, right? In the last class, smooth muscles. So in the smooth muscles, they will go and send signal, and as well as the skeletal muscles. And in the upper motor neurons, they carry signal from your brain and the spinal cord. Okay, from your brain and the spinal cord. So these are the two types or parts, you can say, of the motor neurons, which occurs involuntary as well as voluntary. Okay, in the upper motor neurons, what will you find? You will find smooth muscle and skeletal muscle. That means what? Which you can control in the skeletal muscle, and smooth muscle which you can't control. Understand in that way. So the lower motor neurons, they help you in that, and the upper neurons, they help you in carrying signal in between your brain and the spinal cord. Is it clear about motor neurons? Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So this is just an example of lower motor neurons. In the lower motor neurons, what you will find? You will find that means they will send signal to your spinal cord, to the what? To the smooth muscles. In your smooth muscles, what you will get? What it included? It includes your digestive system, respiratory system, etc. So the smooth muscles, they will when they will send signal to the smooth muscle, it will start functioning, such as your esophagus, stomach, intestine. Understand? And your muscle will start to contract, and like they will start their function normally now when they will pass the information. That is the motor neurons. Next is interneurons. So the interneurons are also known as neural intermediaries, which are found where? Which are found in your brain and your spinal cord. And you will find that the interneurons, they are the most common type of neuron. Okay, and these interneurons, what do? They send signal to the sensory neurons. Okay, they send signal to the sensory neuron, that is to whom? To your eyes, nose, all this, through which you can sense, and also some interneurons. Okay, and you will find that in these interneurons, you will find that they help you in what? They help you in reacting to the external stimuli. External stimuli means what? Which is occurring outside your body. The interneurons, they help you in detecting, they help you in finding out, or else reacting it. Understand? Like this. I have given an example, which is this. So this is, suppose you have touched a candle. So as soon as you will touch a candle, means with your finger, what will happen? Obviously, you will remove your finger. It's not it, because it's hot. Who is telling you to like remove it? The brain. So it means interneurons. I mean, which is occurring internally, and through which you can detect, through which you can know what is occurring outside your body. Is it clear? Okay, next is brain. The brain is what? The brain is the center of your thought. Whatever you think, whatever you wanted to do, anything you think with the help of your brain. So it is the center of your thoughts. And the brain, they also helps you in what? The brain, they also helps you in interpreting the things which is occurring outside as well as outside the environment. And the brain, they also helps you in controlling all your body movements. Whenever you move your body, like the brain, they helps you in controlling them. So the brain, what will you find here? The brain has got various parts. So the main ones are what? Cerebrum, diencephalon, brainstem, and cerebellum. So these are the four parts of the brain. That is cerebrum, diencephalon, and the brainstem. And this diencephalon, you will get two parts. That is the thalamus and the hypothalamus. This one. This is the thalamus and this is the hypothalamus. Next is what? Next is brainstem. So in the brainstem, what will you find? You will find midbrain, pons, this one, midbrain, pons, and medulla oblongata. So these are the three parts which you will find in your brainstem. Next is, and the last one is cerebellum, this one. So cerebellum is situated here. So these are the four parts of the brain. Are you clear? So now let's talk about the cerebrum. So this is the cerebrum. The cerebrum, what will you find here? You will find that they are the largest part of the brain. And the cerebrum, they has what? They has right and the left hemisphere also. And this cerebrum, and they also does some function like what? Interpreting touch, means you can know you can differentiate in between the touch. You can know the vision, and hearing means you can see as well as you can hear with the help of the cerebrum. As well as speech means with the help of the cerebrum, like you can speak. And next is what? Reasoning means you can reason something, you can say something. Okay, means with the help of the cerebrum. Next is emotions. It also controls your emotions. Next is learning and fine control movements with the help of this cerebrum. That you can learn things, and as well as fine control movement means with the help of the cerebrum, like you can control your daily physical activities which you are doing. So this is about the cerebrum. Is it clear? Is it clear about cerebrum?
Yes.
Explain, ma'am.
I'll explain again. Okay. So this cerebrum, it is the largest part of the brain. From the picture itself, you can just see it is the largest part, it's not it? And this cerebrum, they have got what? Both left and the right hemispheres. So, and this cerebrum, what is their function? Their function is interpreting touch. Interpreting touch means what? Maybe with the touch of something, means just by the touch of something, like you will be able to know what you have touched, which is known as interpreting touch. And next is vision and hearing, means with the help of this cerebrum, like you are able to see properly, you are able to hear clearly. Next is speech. With the help of the cerebrum, you can speak properly. Next is reasoning, like with the help of the cerebrum, like you can reason something. If something happens, like you'll be able to reason why that thing is occurring, why that thing is happening. Next is emotions. With the help of the cerebrum, you can control your emotions. Next is learning and fine control of movement. With the help of the cerebrum, you can learn things. Fine control of movement means you can control your physical activities which you do. Is it clear now, Hasina, about cerebrum?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, for today I will end here. that is the cerebrum. In the next class, I will be continuing with the other parts. Is it clear, everyone, so far?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, then that's all for today's class.